Welcome to ATV TV. I'm Darren Dance here with the Yogi Meister, Mr. Peter Morganti, and champion Horsham trainer, soon to be Melbourne Cup training winner, we would hope, Paul Preusker. Paul, welcome to ATV TV.
Yeah, afternoon, everyone.
Well, Pete, I'm going to hand over to you for some very tough, insightful questions. Get Mr. Preusker under the pump.
No under the pump questions here. Hey, Paul, just roll back. Obviously, we sort of know a bit of your background. You've always been around animals, horses. That's been your upbringing. I'm just going off a few website stats here. Started training in early 1990. Obviously, a lot's evolved, especially here we are on Zoom, which you wouldn't have heard of in 1990.
No.
Now and then, there's been a big difference. Obviously, you're a lot more in the spotlight these days.
Yeah, look, I quite often look back, and I was really lucky trainer when I first kicked off. I think I gathered about half a dozen horses pretty quick, and lucky enough they were all pretty decent horses. They just went to the races and went boom, 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 and you know, I started off with a little horse called Navajo Brave, was my first one, and then I had a horse called Sunset Sammy and Sovereign Court. And I soon learned out it wasn't as easy as taking to the races and get results. So 12 months in, it got hard. I think at that time I clocked up a dozen winners pretty quick, and people thought I knew what I was doing and give me a go, and then it got terribly tough. But I actually, to be honest with you, I had a bit of a meltdown and threw the toys out of the cot, so to speak, and went concreting for 12 months and cooled me jets. And and then the owner of the concrete company sneakily bought a horse and got me back into horse racing, and here I am today still. So that's you know, and you look back on the journey, and that's you got to be tough to be in this game, you know.
It's funny. I look. I don't know how good the stats are here, but it says over 400 winners and $9 million in prize money. Must be a lot of Mercedes in that parked out there at the stables.
I always spend it unwisely, I reckon. You know, I look at it now, and no, it's been a lot of fun on the way, and what a wonderful game. You just never know here. I reckon there's one sort of one rule I go by. As soon as I think I know it, go back to rule one. There's none. You know, like that's always you always got to be ready. You know, so and that's what keeps you in the game. You know.
Hand over to you, Darren.
Righto, Paul. I'm just concentrating here. I've got some concreting here, 17 metres by 17 metres.
Yeah.
150 mil thick. I reckon I can get a good quote off you, can't I?
Yeah, I was smart enough to stay on the wheelbarrow and no commitment. I was stress free.
Well, that's good. I'll just order the truck and you can come and do it for me. Anyway, back to business. I guess the main question I want to start with is I've been up to your complex a couple of times. It's a very big setup there, and a lot of infrastructure and a lot of new infrastructure going on. But it's in Horsham, Paul. Why are you in Horsham? Do you intend to stay in Horsham for the rest of your career? What's your feedback there?
Yeah, I do. I do intend on staying here. Hopefully, I'll eventually get this set up how I want it, which I'm not far off it, and committed to another property sort of this week. So, which will give me everything I need to bring to the table. And the only downfall's travelling. And for me, I think there's a bit you can do there to help horses travel, and when they can count the hours, there's no result anyway. So I've found over my time, I guess from Ballarat, and travelling's travelling, and you just got to prepare your horses, and that's the only downfall to it here. I get great access here at Horsham to the grass. It's sensational club and curator. I reckon he's the best in Australia. I'm on it twice a week, and it gets. Oddly enough, I only learnt the stats. Horsham's probably one of the most productive country clubs in Victoria. You know, like we just get good use of the track. I was quite surprised to see other courses don't get anywhere near the use. So really lucky to be here.
I noticed with your track there, you've got a lot of sand around, and I must say, driving to your complex, it took me just under 3 hours, but it's a very smooth, easy drive up that freeway. It's probably an easier drive to go from here to your place than to go from here to Warrnambool, particularly on the horses, because you basically, once you get on the freeway, you're into top gear and you're only changing down through a couple of those small towns, but it's a pretty good road, so I assume most of your horses would travel pretty well.
Yeah, look, it's, you know, for me to get to Melbourne in particular, you know, that's sort of what you're angling at. And, you know, I know the COVID's on at the moment and makes it a little bit easier, but most times it's sort of, you know, Moonee Valley, Flemington, 3.25 to 3 hours. Won't be long in the bypass. Bypass will be a narrow rat. So it's all 110 and, in particular, going to Adelaide and Murray Bridge now, it's just, you know, there's no lights. There's one set of lights at the hills and you cruise along at your 100, 110 and straight roads. It's actually a pretty good spot just to cater, you know.
You mentioned the Horsham Club, Paul. Obviously a great relationship there and you get great access and there's trials fairly regularly as well. But one of the biggest training tools in your repertoire is the deep sand training. Want to just elaborate there on how you use the sand and does it suit most horses?
Yeah, look, it's something I've always trained on heavy sand. You know, here it's, you know, they probably get into it different times of the year. The sand changes on you, you know. As it dries out, it gets a lot tougher. You know, condition them to it's the real key. And most importantly, I've found over the years, I can literally count the amount of the tendons, the knees, the breakdown ratio. Geez, I love it. You know, when I look at the stats now, and it's very minimal. You know, so. But, you know, you get the odd horses that can't adapt to it. So, you know, and that's a lot like the treadmills. You know, some horses can't adapt. So you got to adapt quick and don't keep them on it, you know. Like those horses might, you know, you get the ones that don't like it. They might go on it 2 or 3 days a week. And then on firmer surfaces like up the road and treadmills and mix it up a bit, you know. But good horses, I've found, love the heavy sand and they just thrive on work and they rise to the top, you know.
What's the cut-off there? You got obviously staying types and sprinting types. Would you, the staying type, I gather you could utilise the sand more so than with a sprinting type. Like I am, someone's a horse that a good one of your better sprinters. What's the ratio or balance there between a stayer and someone like, a horse like him on the sand or in the sand?
Yeah, look, it doesn't. I don't think it makes any difference. I don't think it makes any difference. It's just a matter of how many Ks you're doing it, you know. And I've got to bear in mind, I also train out of paddocks, and that's heavy sand as well. So, you know, these guys, those sprinting types, they don't need a lot of work because the time they're walking around their paddocks as well, yeah, they're doing plenty, you know.
Yep. Back to you, Darren.
Right, Paul, I want to talk about Surprise Baby, the star of the stable, one of probably the best staying horses in the country. Now, it's quite unusual to see a horse only have 3 starts for the whole year, including the grand final in the Melbourne Cup. Where do you have Surprise Baby at now?
Yeah, look, I'm, you know, for me, I had him ready to go 2,500 plus last start, and I wanted to go in like that. Go in like that. You know, the Group 1 2000 are tough on speed sort of type races, which are quite taxing on a horse when you've got him above his threshold anyway. So I thought the run was super. The ride ended up a little bit tricky from the gate, but I thought for me, looking at the sectionals and given the way he was closing, I reckon I got the job pretty right there, you know. So and going forward here, for me, I always planned on having him ready. You know, last year was a bit like flying a plane, and you got to get it off the tarmac and get it to heights and then land it, you know. And I just wanted to go in this year and just land the job, you know. If you can understand that, a lot easier on the horse. Me particularly, I sort of like this style of training. I think history is great looking at it, but going forward, tracks have changed, the way we train horses have changed, and even the vetting of horses, you know, everything's changed. So that hardcore racing, you know, I can see in the next 5 years that'll change. You know, all these horses have just got to be mentally switched off, 100% sound, and the old days, it's going to make it harder for you, you know. So going forward, hopefully I've got it right. I feel I do. I think I'm better than last year as far as the horse I'll present on the day, you know.
He's beaten 2.4 lengths in the Turnbull, made up many lengths late, and was probably a bit wide, but he's come through that running perfect order, and you're on track for the big one.
Yeah. Look, everyone here, vets, they're probably more frustrated than anyone, because there's no work to do, and when you get to this level, I guess everyone wants a piece of him, and but he's a great sound horse, and you know, like it's really look forward to the day. And I suppose, you know, the one thing I have for this year, you know, he's a unique horse. He's the more pressure you put him under, the more he just melts to it and deals with it. And you always want to see, you know, his strength was the cup crowds, and that pressure can melt a horse. Whereas he just, you know, he's been there and done it and handled it. And you know, this year it'll be disappointing, because it'll be other horses' strength, and you know, that was our strength. So it being quite a cup, it brings them all into it, I guess.
Craig Williams rides him in the cup. He stays on.
Yeah, for sure. It was going to be interesting after the Turnbull to see how Craig thought, and you know, he's committed to the horse and 100% happy with him. So I think Craig had a few questions in his head about the horse, and one was being locked down with nowhere to go, and how he's going to handle everything. So drawing gate 1, I think that ticked all Craig's boxes, and he admitted to me. So I thought that's a good plus going forward.
Well, we know that if Craig gets off a horse and he's not happy, he'll be the first one to run away. So the fact that he's sticking with you is a good thing. I see. I just had a look. He's the horse's second favourite for the Cup at the moment, $8. Which, you know, it's pretty short, isn't it? $8 in a Melbourne Cup behind a 3-year-old raider called Tiger Moth with Russian Camelot third at $9. So, you know, that can probably flick around a little bit depending on what happens in the Cox Plate, I guess, with Russian Camelot. But your horse has been short right through the market, and you know, he was super last year, wasn't he? He was just a massive run with, you know, given the ride and where he was in the run, he was just massive late.
Yeah, look, he's you know, and bearing in mind that was his first racing prep, and I guess I sort of got on a bit of venture 2-3 years ago now, and I just said to myself, there's got to be a better way. I know what I want to do. How do I get it? I've just got to try what I know and put a line through what don't work for me. And You know, unfortunately this year I thought Dark Alley was going forward, not at the same level, but a nice stone horse with no kilometres underneath him as well. And, you know, we unfortunately lost him in a fatal accident. And, but I was coming with a couple of bullets this year. And the other horse to probably, if I can get him in, he'll go around in the Lexus, is Admire Robson, real nice horse going forward. If I can get him qualified, I really look forward to seeing him in as well, you know.
Say you're lucky enough to win the Melbourne Cup with Surprise Baby. What would your plans be going forward after that?
Think about the next cup real quick.
Yeah, fair point.
Look, and he's lightly raced, and originally before all the COVID, I thought there was other options there for him, you know, to go abroad and showcase where he's at in the big stage, really. But this year is a bit tricky for us. So, you know, we'll get the cup down pat, hopefully, and draw a plan up with the owners. And, you know, he's lightly raced and sound, so that, you know, there's a good year in him, good couple of seasons in him yet without stress, you know. So, all concentration on this year, and hopefully it all pans out right, and horse comes home safe and sound from the cup, and keep them in there. You know, that's my main goal every year from here on. Try and qualify horses, which seems to be really hard. You know, I'm sure there's great stayers here that just don't get the opportunity to get qualified, and it's a bit the trick. So. I'm sure once the first Tuesday's ran, and the first thing I'll be thinking about is next year, you know. So hopefully it gets easier as I get smarter.
Well, how'd you get Surprise Baby? Where'd you come from?
Yeah, look, owner Johnny Fattini actually bought him off a gravel house, and I was in New Zealand at the time, and he said just pop out and have a look at him and make sure he's worth putting on the plane. And from the day I seen him, seen the way he walked and wind sucked, and the way the horse, in particular, the way he thought, and then I looked down at his legs and I thought, this horse is bulletproof. He's the right one for my job, you know. So anyway, yeah, we got him home, and it was a fair job ahead of me. He was, if you wanted to turn left, he'd go right, and bump the K's up. You know, he bumped the speed up on you pretty quick too, and quite often I'd ride him a fair bit early days, and I'd get him right, put the track riders back on him, and last a few days, and they'd say you're back on him, you know. But it was just a slow job, and it come to his first gallop at Horsham. I thought, just give him a breeze up and see what he's got. I was really happy with the horse, and I think his first breeze up ever, he ran home in about 33.2, and I went, but he done it on a lot of fear, and I thought, oh, I rang Johnny. I said, this horse has got a ton of ability, but we've got to put him back in the paddock. So, and we did, and we were rewarded after that, you know. Just that's why we didn't start racing him till he was 4, you know. So, and great foundations were put in after that. We knew what we had and the problems we had, and we just sort of put a strategy together early days to try and fix that. So anyway, we lucky enough to get it right, you know.
It's a great story, and let's hope on that first Tuesday in November it becomes even better story. Over to you, Pete.
Yeah, patience must be a big thing, Paul, but it must be hard when, you know, you think you got something there, you got to slowly put those building blocks together.
Yeah, no, I guess you get better at it each year. You know, I'm very mindful of spending people's money. You know, like I've always had to work hard, and you're mindful of spending people's money, and you sort of, and I think a lot of people are, you know, are just, you get too proactive of getting horses there to the races to show owners what they're doing. But every year it's important that you get it right and look after the horses. And I sort of feel now like it's come at an age and experience to go, trust me, guys, this is how you got to do it. And horse nearly comes out on top most times, which is the important part about this game, you know.
I think we're saying that with the 3 fillies that we have with you, that you've, I think it's probably been 2 sort of intermediate preps and then a solid grounding prep, and you've said now they go to the paddock, and when they come back, it's not D-Day, but it's time for them to show us what we've got, and that's obviously raise the colours, eagles and pins, and dandy class.
Yeah, for sure. You know, dealing with them all along, and you watch them grow at different times, and you know, in particular, the first prep, you know, I was Dandy Classic. I just thought, geez, how good's this horse? And you know, when they're that age, they're going to rise and lose it, and rise again and lose it. You know, and time, they all change. You know, watching these babies, but important part about last prep was putting that mental strength into them, good, tough grind and prep, and they all come through it really good. In particular, they come back this next prep, and they're such tough horses. They just eat, work, and they do it quite easy, you know. So you see the best out of them after that second, you know, after that good hard prep. Yeah, really look forward to this time, and you know, we'll see them at the jump outs, and they'll put their hand up and tell you whether they're ready to race. And I'm sure this time you're going to see a bit, and we'll all be happy, you know. We're being patient, and we're given the time to stay sound, and they're the right horses.
Yep. It won't be long and I will be back in work. Just to divert, you mentioned before you ride a lot of your own horses, but a really important integral part of the business is Holly, your partner, and obviously Holly's been probably 3 years out of the saddle now because of a race day incident at Penshurst. But geez, it must be good to know that you can use Holly as a sounding board. She can jump on horses when they're just about ready to go. Obviously, ride plenty of work. It's a huge asset to have your partner as an integral part of the show.
Yeah, you know, she's sort of she's well grounded in the racing game, and just her general nature is to try the best she can, and she's as tough as she can be, you know. And you know, a lot of people say to me, "This Surprise Baby's the best horse you've got, probably you'll ever see." And probably behind that, I always think the best horse I got is probably Holly. You know, she'll keep running the show, and incredible drive and incredible taste for the game. So, you know, I'm very, very lucky here. The kids are coming through now, and with the support of the likes of Holly, you know, at the moment there's 3 kids coming through the game here. You know, and with the grinding of Holly and even Christine's not to be forgotten about, just absolute workhorses, and really they are masters of their trade, you know. So I think we're all lucky to have these quality of workers working for you, the likes of Holly and Christine, you know. I think Christine's been with me from the very first time I decided to start racing horses, and look back and see her get a winner for me, last couple of winners for me, which was really rewarding, because she probably doesn't get the opportunity as the business has grown and become more commercial. The love lost is not there, you know. The loyalty's sort of not been there for her, but I've always thought, you know, she's a master at what she does, and same as Holly, when they like one, I don't say much, but I don't forget.
for those that Christine is obviously the wife of Dean Yendall, for those that are unaware. Darren, back to you, mate.
All right, let's have a look. Apart from Surprise Baby, Paul, in the spring, is there any other horses there that you think? I know you mentioned a couple earlier, but I saw one the other day that you trained called Luna Fox. Was pretty good in the Guineas.
Yeah, love this horse. He's tough, very tough, sound, and you know, I know he's by Fox Wedge, and you tend to lean that he mightn't quite stay, but with what he's shown me, work-wise, constitution and lactate, I'm pretty confident going forward to the Derby, you know. All along I've sort of set him for that. When I first got the horse, you know, Terry's been good over the years, and I remember this horse as a 2-year-old, and Terry thought he was a real Guineas horse as a 2-year-old. Unfortunately, when I got him, maybe the conditions here and a change of environment, I smelt Derby pretty quick, and that's sort of the path we can head to. And I thought a run the other day, you know, coming out of that, he'll go to the Vars, and I'm sure he makes D-Day on the Derby day, and I really look forward to taking that quality horse to the 2500.
I was dirty on you, Paul. I was going to back
by Yearling off you.
Sorry, Darren.
Yeah, look, a couple going forward. I really like this Admire Robson, blessed horse. He's been on the comeback trail from an injury. He had 12 months out, but he was pretty unlucky in the Bart Cummins the other day to not qualify for the Cup, I reckon. And we're left punching late to go to the Lexus and try and qualify him to get in. But I'm sure he's one of my headaches. He's one of my headaches if he can win the Lexus. He's definitely not going to go away. As much as Surprise Baby's got him here as sparring partners. He's a tough Japanese horse that is staying really committed to the job. He does scare me a little bit, you know.
Because that's a bad thing to have a Quinella in the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah. And sort of going forward from there, you know, there's a couple I haven't raced yet that might have a sneaky look in there. A horse like Kaluni, they got a little bit of form overseas, but haven't had a run here in Australia yet. So there's a couple there, but the rest of them probably guys that I'd only be throwing them to the wolves and you know, dissolving their confidence. So what I've got, I'm probably going to wait till next year and even March, Adelaide, kick them off there, you know, and hopefully there's a couple of good staying horses and concentrate on that Adelaide Cup again, you know.
Pete?
Horsham Cup this weekend, Paul. It's always a big fillip for any trainer, their hometown cup. Now, I know Holly's won the cup 6 times as a rider. She may have knocked you off at one stage there with Texan Warney beating you when...
He did.
What was your horse?
Geez, you got me there. It was a grey horse. Flamin' Mo.
That's it.
Flamin' Mo it was.
But then you consolidated and you won the cup 2 years in a row with a great old horse that you had still going around, Magic Console. So you formed a partnership and won it twice. You mentioned Admire Robson. Does he run Sunday in the cup?
No. I've got Admire Winner.
Winner. Yep.
Nice, yeah, look, nice Japanese horse that'll sit up hard on the pace, and it takes and shaking off. But for me, 62 kilos is going to probably toll on him. It'll be great. It'd be great to see. I think Andre Magneto. He'd be probably one of the ones to beat. I couldn't really get him going here, and I thought it was a good move. Let's send him to Adelaide. bring him back. I'll win the Horsham Cup with him, but he won't go around in my name, guys. But he'll probably be there. But and the other horse, Poet's Landing, probably just a run off, you know, and with his ratings, he's probably not well. You know, there's nothing easy for him this time of the year. You know, he's probably more a Sonoma Cup type horse.
Yeah. That's 2 runners. You had 14 acceptors there. There's 4 or 5 first starters. It's nearly Christmas time. We're all struggling for a few dollars. There's got to be something there that the Preusker camp will like.
Yeah, look, the first starters, there's some nice horses there. The filly by Seamus Award, nice horse. The only thing I'd say, guys, this COVID's been really hard on me. I'm only allowed to go to Horsham and nowhere else. So these guys probably haven't been hard schooled like I normally would, cart them around and expose them trial. But certainly the filly by Seamus Award, nice horse. She's in the 3-year-old race. Look, there's a horse going really well. He come to me down from Queensland last time, and probably he was a little bit hard on him last prep, and we didn't see the best of him. But in a benchmark 7, there's a little horse indispensable there. I'm going to be pretty hard to shake out. I'm sure he'll be hanging, he'll be punching right hard. He's going to be hard enough to beat. Benchmark 64. The benchmark 64 over 1800 or Brunos Star. Kicked around at Geelong. He's a new horse to me. He kicked around at Geelong in like a 4 and 5 horse race. And I particularly went out there to teach him some racing manners. He used to over race pretty bad in New Zealand. And my style's just dropped a bit, settle and enjoy racing. So he relaxed really, really well in a slow run race. And really couldn't quicken, but I can probably see this. This horse has been a sparring partner for Winner Fox, and he's got plenty of good galloping in this horse. I can see the 1800. The pace will be on. He'll get a nice run and take a tough run from home. He'll be right in it. But other than that, I haven't. You know, if I could win a couple of races, I'd be doing really good. And, you know, maybe get lucky in the cup. Yeah, the cup's sort of. I'm just praying. I might have to do a few prayers, you know, which I haven't done since I was 3 or 4. So I don't know if he's going to remember me, you know.
We'll leave it there, Paul. Darren, you've got about 3 minutes to wrap it up, but yeah, I'll let you fly.
Well, Paul, look, really appreciate you coming on today. Really good interview and very insightful for us. I'm sorry that Pete put you under so much pressure looking for a winner. I'd never do something like that. All the very best, mate, for the carnival. You know, you've come a long way. You've done a great job with your horses up at Horsham. I've been there. I've seen it firsthand. You're a massive worker, and you deserve all the success you and Holly get. I think you're going to play a big part in the carnival. I think you're going to, the name Preusker is going to be up in lights, and I think post Flemington, you're probably going to need another 40 or 50 boxes up there for all the people wanting to send you horses, because being a farmer, you'd know when one sheep runs to the dam, they all run to the dam. So get ready, because you're going to be feeling ready, right up, buddy, and you deserve it. Totally.
No, thanks, guys, and I just love being involved with you 2 guys. It's just been lovely to operate with guys that understand horses and want to look after their owners. So really appreciate what opportunities I do get, and thoroughly enjoy doing it this way. So look forward to getting you winners, guys.
Brilliant. Thanks, Paul.
And I've told everybody, with all your multis, just take Surprise Baby 1 out. Don't worry about the rest. Surprise Baby's the anchor for the big multis. All the best.
Let's hope, mate. Thank you. Bye.